Hello, and welcome back to Cozy with Chelsea. I am Chelsea, your host, and today we have Steffi Sorrentino, who is both a yoga instructor and an energy practitioner, and she's also a lovely human being. So,
Thank you.
and I have known her probably nearly my whole life, a large portion of it, and anyone who knows Steffi knows how wonderful and lovely she is. So. I'm glad to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate that. I've known Chelsea literally my whole life because I was born and we were literally down the street. So very grateful to know and to love you.
Oh, thanks.
I appreciate
love
you being
too.
a very special part of my life.
Of course. So today I really want to just talk about what you do and maybe get into the nervous system a little bit as well and whatever else we want to talk about. So maybe if you want to start by just talking about yourself and what you do and start there.
Okay. Yeah, basically, as she said, I am a yoga instructor. I am an energy practitioner. I am certified in Reiki level 1 and 2, and I have a few other different certifications that I've gotten over the years. I'm currently in my 300-hour RYT for my teacher training for yoga, just to add on to my yoga instruction so that I can be a 500-hour RYT, eventually working into the experienced registered yoga teacher, which is what RYT stands for.
Okay. Good to know. I did not know what that was.
It's a Yoga Alliance term. You get certified through Yoga Alliance and you become a registered yoga teacher through them. I am currently studying at Yoga Sanctuary right now through Mojave Yoga Collective. She is a wonderful person. Really, really highly suggest going to her if she continues to do teacher trainings in the future. It's been really an amazing experience, and we touched on multiple different topics like Ayurveda, the nervous system. We talked obviously about the philosophy, Indian philosophy and mythology, and then we also touch on self-help. We touched on the moon phases and did all kind of fun ritual-like stuff that are practiced, so things like Imbolc and pagan tradition holidays. So we have learned a ton of information over the past course. My 300 hours, 18 months long. And then to touch on other certifications, I took a continuing education learning course called Healing Hips, who certified me through Reiki level 2 so that I can practition on people. So Reiki level 1 is you can only use it on yourself. Reiki level 2 is when you can start to work on others. And then you start to learn the symbols. And then going further in your certifications on that, you become a Reiki master after that so that you can certify other people.
That sounds very important.
Yeah, I guess it is important. I feel like you're using your body as a vessel to transfer the Reiki energy. So you need to be as pure and clean as possible when you are going into energetic work, because you're essentially working to try to help somebody else's soul and help somebody process things that they are emotionally holding on to within their bodies. So when you become a Reiki master, it's really important because you're basically spreading the rest of the knowledge to the people so that they can help other people.
Yeah.
So it's like a lineage, I guess.
It's beautiful.
But yeah, that's what I'm certified in.
Yeah.
And then also I work at the Ability Center as the operations manager there, and I'm currently working with the special needs adults and kids. We do a bunch of fun fitness stuff, and I teach them yoga every Monday with the sound bath to follow, and they really enjoy it. That's been very, very fun for me and a very fulfilling experience working with the special needs community as well. So that's a little bit about what I do.
Sounds like you don't do a lot.
No, I don't do very much.
No, that's great. And that's great that you work with, what is the center called again?
The Ability Center of Southern Nevada. It's located in Betty's Village, which is a special needs residence ran by Opportunity Village. So
Great.
if you are familiar with the Opportunity Village in Vegas, there's 3 different locations, and I work at the one on Buffalo. So,
Great.
yeah.
Yeah, if anyone is in Las Vegas, Opportunity Village is a great place to go and supports those with special needs. So
Yes.
it's a wonderful organization.
For sure.
And they always have a Christmas festival thing. What's it
Yes.
called?
Oh my God.
Opportunity Village something.
It's the
Magical
magic,
Forest.
yes. Magic something.
Yeah, the Magical Forest. And yeah, that was a childhood staple for me.
Oh yeah, same. And they
Riding
give
around on
us,
the train, that tiny train.
yeah, and they have
Funnel cakes.
super good hot chocolate.
Yeah.
And then even
Yeah.
though it was like literally what the Swiss mix, like
Yeah, but it's good.
it's
good. Okay, well, anyways. So part of your yoga teacher training, you also learned about pagan holidays. Is that what you were saying? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was part of it.
Yes.
You know, I love that stuff, so.
Yeah, so I actually thought it was really interesting when we touched on that. It was very brief. It was for a very brief section of it, but what we don't know, or what most people don't know, is that most holidays came from pagan tradition.
Yes, correct.
So,
Almost all of them. All of the Christian ones did, for sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
And Catholic ones.
Correct.
That was really cool to kind of, I already knew that prior going in, because I liked to dabble with like intuitive tools such as tarot and dowsing rods, pendulums, things like that, where I've gone into metaphysical shops. To start, really, I had gone to a holistic practitioner my whole life. And so I kind of became really passionate about it then, obviously with Aunt Val being an instructor and being in their home a lot growing up down the street from you, which, by the way, Chelsea lived right down the street from my aunt and uncle, and that's why I was there all the time, every single day, either at Chelsea's house or at my aunt and uncle's house.
Yes. And Steffi's aunt, who she's referring to as Aunt Val, she is a yoga instructor as well. Energy healer, life coach. She's a lot of things. So
Yeah, she is the wellness guru for sure. She is my source. Every time we end up at a family event together, Aunt Val and I huddle in a corner.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if Chelsea was there, she would be along with us.
Yep. She's wonderful.
Yeah. So we did touch on pagan holidays. I think the most recent one was summer solstice.
Yep.
The summer solstice.
Okay, so the summer solstice is in June.
Letha.
Letha?
That's what it's
Okay.
called. Anyways, to touch on that, there's a lot of different traditions that you can venture into just to celebrate the newness of the season. And not only did we touch on that, but we kind of, what you learn in all of this, I guess, all of the holistic world, is it's all really connected. So you have Ayurveda and all of the seasonal stuff. So Ayurveda it's a way of life, and it's a way that you go throughout life based off of your doshic qualities. So you have 3 different doshas, and they are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. I'm sure you've heard of them.
I have,
before.
yes.
I think that it's really interesting because I believe that the pagan holidays and traditions actually go really hand in hand with Ayurveda, because you need to learn how to transition based off of whatever dosha is high at the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, with each season, there's a different energy, right? So you can have, because each of the doshas have different, like you have some that are cooling, some that are warming, and then they do well in certain seasons, and some they don't. So
Yes.
balancing where you're at with each season. I don't know if that's exactly what you're saying.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
And she described it way better than I could, because I was having a hard time explaining it. I understand it in my mind.
We're collaborating.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I first learned about Ayurveda, a long time ago, when I was like 16.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I've always been interested in anything like
Yeah.
that. But it was also part of my certification for coaching. We
okay.
learned about it as well. Do you know what your dosha is?
So actually, I've been having a really hard time finding my dosha, because I grew up predominantly Kapha and Pitta. Yeah. So my dominant trait actually was Pitta, and then with a pretty heavy undertone of Kapha. And then as I started to get older and life started to move very quick, I would say within the last 2-3 years for me, it feels like I'm being ripped through time. But It's the best way I can explain it.
Sounds super pleasant.
So pleasant. But that's like being a part of it. It's character development in your early 20s, you know? Yeah. So I'm 24, and I would say that I'm still predominantly Pitta. And now I feel like my Vata and my Kapha are really really battling each other to see which one.
Yeah. I always thought I was Kapha.
Yeah.
Growing up. Also, it is interesting to think of like a dosha while you're still developing, because like when I was 16, my body is very different than how it is now. Correct. So it's kind of hard to know as you go throughout the, different stages of life. But I think what I actually am is Pitta.
Yeah.
But I was out of balance for a very long time.
Yes.
So I think that can be confusing in Ayurveda when you're trying to like self-diagnose your dosha, as you're answering these questions, and it's like, well, I'm on the heavier side, but it's like maybe that's because you have too much kapha energy going on when really you need to be, you know. So I always thought it was kapha. It's not that kapha means you're always heavier. That's not what it means.
No, it doesn't. And it also just means that you could just be like, there are so many kapha people out there that are just like straight up muscle. Yeah. They're just built people, but they're bigger. Like they're just like, their frame is bigger, and that's what you learn over time. But most of the time I would say people like that are Pitta and Kapha, because they have, like, if I would say the perfect explanation of a Kapha woman is like an old German grandmother. Like, I don't know how to explain that.
Then that's me.
No.
Yeah, that's what I am.
You're German?
Yeah, a lot of German. I'm an old German grandma. Always have been, always will be.
It's her past life.
But I think I'm a blend, Pitta, Kapha. I can tell you that I'm not Vata.
Yeah.
I know that for sure.
Yeah.
Nothing about me is airy.
Yeah.
Grounded.
Yeah.
The more we talk, the more I think I'm Kapha.
Yeah, I think that you actually, when you first learn about doshas, the first thing that you say is, "Oh, I'm not Kapha."
Yes.
Because like everyone thinks
it's
that
like a preconceived notion of what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everybody this is gonna sound really terrible, but I feel like a lot of people just want to like associate themselves with trying to be so thin, so people want to be a Vata.
Yeah.
Or like, and that's initially like what I thought, and I'm not saying that that's right, but it is like what your mind kind of gravitates towards when you are learning about the doshic qualities. But the more that you see it and the more that you actually embody your quality, the more balanced the rest of them become. So it just kind of is. But initially when you learn about them, it has like, you feel like it could be a negative connotation. But each of them have pros and cons.
Yes.
And sometimes you're like, I really enjoy the pros of being a Kapha. And Val and I talked about it. And she was like, I would say that you for sure are a Pitta Vata right now. And I was like, I don't know, because I love my rest,
Yeah. But maybe you need it.
Yeah. I think that I've just been...
That's what you need to balance out.
Yeah.
The energy.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's really hard because I am generally pretty flighty in the mind. I feel like my thoughts are really racy. So that's why I was like, maybe I am a Vata a little bit. I think when I start to dive in a little bit into my doshas and balance them out the proper way, because I get into the groove where I do, and I'm like, man, I think that I am a little bit of a Pitta Kapha. And then when I have the Vata coming in, it really takes over my Kapha.
It can be hard to also box yourself into something.
Yeah, so, it's so interesting. But anyways.
Like, I'm a Kapha, Virgo, INFJ, Enneagram.
Yeah, I need to,
like,
right.
I'm becoming a formula.
Yeah. I am this rising.
But they can be useful tools, though. I really think of anything as just like a way to have introspection. It's like, okay, what about this feels like it aligns, what feels like it doesn't, and then using that as a tool to move forward. But it just seemed like a lot of numbers and letters at this point.
Yeah, I have been like literally this morning, actually, I was like, if everything is just a calculation, everything is just a number for me right now. What is going on, you know? Because I do macros and I try to hit a certain amount of calories a day. I'm trying to up them right now because I'm realizing that my output is so high of energy that I'm getting really depleted. So I'm trying to eat more and it's really hard. So, because I'm so busy all the time. So I've been trying to use it as a tool to hold me accountable to eat, you know what I mean? But I also think about food all the time because I'm starving.
Yes.
So it's like everything is like, it just feels like a number. But
That can be a little exhausting. Well, I'm speaking from my own experience.
yeah, it is super exhausting. I actually don't recommend doing it unless you like want to learn more about like nutrition.
Yeah.
And like macros are just as important as the macros. Just making sure that your body is properly fueled for hormonal balance. Like I originally started doing it because I was having crazy symptoms.
Yeah.
Because I was having actually really heavy kapha symptoms.
Okay.
So when you are too deeply in your kapha or your kaphic energy, you actually can develop things like urinary tract problems because you're having an overbuild of the muck and the mucus, which if you didn't know that, I think you probably knew that was one of kapha's qualities. It's predominantly warmer and sludgier. Like that's typically what you associate it with. And I was way too in it and I was having a lot of health problems. So then I just like was like, I need to find the balance of it. And I think that it had helped me initially. And now I'm like, I don't even think it matters anymore.
Well, and sometimes you use a tool for a certain amount of time, right?
Yeah.
Like I had a period of my life where was having a lot of recurring health issues. Well, I will say I removed alcohol, which I kind of credit with healing all of that.
Yeah.
But my point was to say that, like initially when I was going through the recurring yeast infections, for example, we're getting TMI on this podcast, and that's fine.
That's fine. I wish that people would talk about this more because
Yeah, we all have it.
when I was having issues, I was like looking for podcasts that were like catered to that.
Yeah.
And I wish that I had the information. So talk about it.
Well, when I was having recurring yeast infections, I went on like a very restrictive diet, which I actually is not something that I normally like to do because of a history of disordered eating. However, like time and place, I did it for a few months and then my symptoms subsided. So the point of this long TMI rant is that sometimes things work for a specific period of time, right? Like if you're out of balance, maybe you have to overcorrect a little to get back and then you can go back,
Yeah.
It's not like this one thing has to be I never eat chocolate ever again.
Yeah.
Because that just wouldn't work for me.
No, and that's the same thing for me. Like I still do indulge in drinking alcoholic beverages, but I had to cut back severely on them. And for 2 months, I was sober. And it was really hard for me. But I think that it undid a lot of things. That was a lot of issues.
Well, I tell people, obviously I'm a fan of sobriety. It's worked very well for me, but that's for a large number of reasons. But for this specifically, like a health issue, that was when I first stopped drinking for the first time, was the yeast infections, because that was part of the protocol, was to not drink at all. And I was like, at all?
Yeah.
Because at the time, that sounded crazy.
Yeah.
But that was kind of what started that trajectory.
Yeah.
Was 3 months of not drinking.
Yeah, mine was... The reason why I didn't is because it was extremely irritating to my bladder. Extremely.
It can be irritating to a lot of things. And even like, I'll talk to people who, I'm not saying that you need to be sober the rest of your life. I'm just saying even like a 30-day break, because your body can heal itself. So even if you just take a break or limit consumption, like harm reduce, it can be very helpful.
Yeah, so I did do it, and it really did help me. And there's just so many negative things about drinking that it's just so hard for me to justify now. Like, knowing what I know now, moving forward, and especially what it feels like in my body, I I love drinking. Like, I like, that sounds crazy, but I love to have a beverage every once in a, like a cutesy little cocktail.
Doesn't sound crazy.
But I love to have a glass of wine every now and then.
Yeah.
But like when I turned 21 and I got really excited that I could go to any bar, and it felt like a playground. It felt like a new door opened up for me, and I was so excited about, oh my God, I can go to this bar, I can get a drink, I can get my favorite drink, I can get any drink and any food that I want. That's crazy. So I did it. And the dopamine release was so heavy in my nervous system and in my brain because I was constantly seeking that. And listen, when I was actually living here during the pandemic, I was having a really hard time, like, not drinking because of, like, how crazy it, like, the effect of the world feeling like it was going into shambles was mentally.
Well, that was also a very common, like across the board, people were drinking much more heavily than they normally did during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But that was for a combination of factors, which was fear and anxiety. There was like a lot of that going around, and alcohol was a way to reduce that temporarily. But also everyone was stuck inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
With not that much to do.
No work to do, nowhere to go, nothing to, you can't have to uphold yourself. And then I think it just created a big problem for a lot of families and a lot of people that were just trying to find some sort of relief. I don't know. That was when I started seeing health issues, was during the pandemic, because my immune system was so dropped from how much I was drinking.
Yeah.
Which is a thing that happens.
Yep. It is.
So
I was actually thinking today of, because I moved to New York after the pandemic. Well, after. I mean, is it ever over? But I think it was like the end of 2023.
Yeah.
I think, which was actually right before Omicron.
Yeah.
So people were like starting to go outside, and then everyone in New York had COVID in one weekend. But my point is that when I moved to New York and everyone started going to places again, I got sick. I think I like wrote down every time I got sick. I think I got sick 10 or 12 times in 1 year.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But it was like, okay, my immune system was down from alcohol. And also I think there was a factor of staying inside for so long.
Yeah.
Where you weren't exposing yourself like you normally do. I wasn't going anywhere and getting germs on me and building up my immune system.
Well, that, and then not only were you were drinking, but you're also stressed out with what was going on in the world. And stress is a major hit on your immune system and your adrenals, which your adrenal function are connected to the kidneys, and then equals UTI most of the time, is your recurring bladder function, because your body is basically in fight or flight and then urinating itself. Yeah. That's basically what's happening on a primal level.
Yes.
And I was going through that because I was also working in a restaurant. And for those of you that don't know and haven't worked in a restaurant, if you have anxiety, don't do it. If you have predominant racing thoughts and anxiety, don't work in a restaurant.
Okay.
But
good advice.
And certainly don't manage it, because that's what I did. Yeah. So not only was I stressed, everyone around me was sick all the time in the restaurant industry. I started working there in like 2020, right when the pandemic happened. And then I was starting to see, I was only 19 or 20 years old when I started working there. I think I just had turned 19, and my family all drank. So like, we were drinking during the pandemic. I would go home after work and want to drink because it was so exhausting working a restaurant job during the pandemic. And then I worked there for 3 years, and eventually I ended up managing it for 6 months. And that was extremely hard on my immune system because I was stressed, and then I was drinking after work to relieve the stress. That was tough.
So was that part of your journey to where you are now?
For sure. I would say that if I didn't go through any of that, I don't think that I would understand the severity of how important health is, and how important it is to take care of your nervous system, and how important it is to take care of all of it, like how all of it kind of intertwines very well together. And it sparked me to be able to go into wellness because I wanted to be better for myself. And I was like, oh my God, I don't think that people understand how important this is and how you don't have to wake up every morning and go to work and hate your life. Like, you don't have to wake up every day and be like, I have to live in this vessel again. Like, it should be, I get to live in this vessel again.
Yes.
I get to enjoy, wow, I don't have a headache this morning.
Yeah.
Or wow, I slept really well last night and not just 6 hours of tossing and turning and my heart palpitating in the middle of the night because I had 5 glasses of wine the night before. I got really passionate about it. And then I always wanted to be a yoga instructor, with from Aunt Val being one. I always thought it was really, really cool to incorporate fitness and stretching and restoring. I thought it was really cool to be zenned out all the time. I was like, I want to be like that one day. So I would say me being in a really high stress environment sparked me to go into this industry because I wanted to be able to utilize tools so that I could be able to give those tools to others, because I think that most of our society lives in fight or flight.
Yeah, I would agree. And we have people who have chronic stress very common.
Yeah.
And burnout, and it's just kind of the way that our society works. Unfortunately, allows for a lot of that.
Yeah.
So, what can you tell us a little bit about how you work with clients? Like, what exactly do your sessions look like? What do you do?
Yeah. So basically, I currently am not really practicing that heavily, but I have a handful of people that I have worked on. Basically, I'll start off an energy session with asking questions prior to. So I ask the people to do a little bit of homework, almost as if you use the tests to be able to help people and move forward so that they can obviously live a more aligned lifestyle with who they are based off of their Enneagram test or human design. We also learned about human design in my 300 hour, which was so cool, by the way. But I first asked them to give me their birth date. If they don't have it, then that's fine. And I've ran human design diagnosis or diagnostics on them just to see what kind of human design that they are, so that I can give them the best information aligned with them and understand almost how to talk to them so that they can digest the information properly, getting the full benefit from their session. So I do that. And then after that, I'll have them start telling me about things that are going on in their life. So why are you calling me, basically? And then I will go about, what would you like to fix? And is it something that is fixable in this current moment? Or is this something that is going to be worked on over time? And most of the time, it's a root cause that needs to be worked on continuously over time by repetition. I will do that, and I will pull a few cards. Like, I'll bring in my intuitive tools. I have a specific deck that just has one word, one color, one picture on them, very simple, so that I can show that to them. And then I ask them what they think it means, and then I'll give them the actual definition of what it means, and then my interpretation of it. And then I will do energy work while they either sit in silence and enjoy it, or I will let them continue to talk. I give them the option, whatever feels most natural to them, so that their nervous system and their guard can be let down.
Okay.
So that's how I typically work through energy sessions. And then private yoga sessions, I obviously use yoga props and things like that. Just give them basically a yoga lesson in private and do hands-on adjustments.
Great.
Sorry, you almost keep talking.
No, you're good. You're good.
What were you going to say?
No, I was just saying the energy sessions sound really interesting, like the way that you format them.
Yeah.
How do you incorporate human design? I guess I'm just curious what you do there. And maybe if you could even give an example of, for example, I'm a projector.
Uh-huh.
So what's like something you would say to a projector?
You're a 1-3 projector, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're the martyr. And
yeah, I know. And
I'm
at first when I
1-3.
read that, I was like, that doesn't sound good. But I think it's...
No, it actually is it's actually, I don't know, none of them are bad. It's the same thing with...
Yeah. Okay. You explain it.
So it's the same thing with Ayurveda.
Yes.
Too. None of the dosha qualities are bad, and none of the human design qualities are bad. They just are. This is a subtopic for sure, is that we love to label things as good or bad, and if we just look at them as they just are, I think it would be a lot easier for us to digest and have a full acceptance of who we are, better living in alignment moving forward in the future.
Well, it's like, what even is good or bad?
Right.
It's all relative.
It's all just, and of course it's really hard to live a very neutral lifestyle. It's extremely hard, especially with the human emotions and our ego involved, because we were raised a certain way to believe that certain things were inherently good or bad. And I would even say it stems as far back from elementary school, when we were told that you were doing a good job or a bad job on something, rather than these were your good qualities and these were your not so great qualities. These are things that you have to work on and things that you don't have to work on.
If you judge a fish to fly, or
they're going to fail every time.
If you judge a cow to skateboard, I don't know.
I forget the quote, but
it's not that, but
they're going to fail every time.
If you judge we got it.
Yeah, that. Write that down. Down. So back to your answer.
Yes.
1-3 is, I believe it's the martyr. You could be a projector, a reflector, a generator, a manifesting generator, and a manifester.
Yes.
Reflector, right?
I think so.
I think that's what it is. Most people are not reflectors, which is crazy. It's like literally a very small percentage. Yeah. So you're a projector, I'm a generator, but we both have the same number. So I'm a 1-3, she's a 1-3. So basically I would, off of yours, you as a projector, you have a frustration. So you have a not self theme and you have a self theme. So something when you're living it out of alignment as a projector is bitterness. When you are going through life and doing something that isn't aligned with your highest good, you get bitter. For me, I get frustrated. So mine is, when I'm living in alignment, I feel extremely satisfied. So after I leave teaching a yoga class, if I feel really extremely satisfied, I know I'm on the right path. Yeah. So for you, I forget whatever the opposite of bitterness would be. I would say like, maybe it's almost like, I guess it would just be like you're happy with it. You find that the not self themes are typically what tell you the most about a person. Yeah. In my opinion. That's what I remember the most. Personally, find that there's so much value in when you get frustrated and angry and then moving forward. But I forget what it is, but I remember mine is satisfaction and frustration. So yours would be bitterness and whatever else.
And sweetness.
Sweetness. I was going to say, I just feel like it's just sweetness. But yeah, it helps you to live better, more in alignment moving forward, so that you're just happier all around.
I like the part of human design that tells you wait for the invitation, or that you're able to respond, like whatever that's called. I forgot what it is.
It's like the way that you react or your action.
Yeah, for me, that was very helpful when I worked with a coach and she did human design for me. So I think that's a great tool that you use. But she told me mine is wait for the invitation, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
because I have often not waited for the invitation.
Right.
But a lot of those times when I didn't wait for the invitation and tried to like force something, it wasn't what I actually wanted, which led me to feeling bitter. So it is interesting. I don't know, the human design is interesting and how specific it is. And now I'm in like waiting for invitation, or I can offer and, but it's never like pushing.
Yeah.
And that does work a lot better for me. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. I actually have been dealing a lot with people who have the number 3 in theirs.
Okay. That's interesting.
A lot of people with the number 3, I have noticed, like my boyfriend's a 3-5. The people who asked for me to help them, one of them was a 1-3 and the other one was a 3-6. But she was also a manifester. So manifesting 1-3, you're a projector 1-3. I know a projector 1-3, and the thing is the 1 is just so excited in our charts, and then the 3, it's really funny. I know that it's not like a quality, but I have to do things 3 times in order for me to learn. I've noticed that throughout my life, and that was before I learned about human design. So everything that I've done has been in 3s. But that's like your martyr quality is you have to learn by experience.
Yes, I do remember reading that as well.
Yeah.
And I certainly have learned by experience.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it almost is like, so is this like a soul path type of thing? Like, are we new souls? You know, then you think about that stuff.
I can't imagine I am.
I don't think that I am
I
either.
can't imagine.
I've
lived many lives.
I feel like I have lived a lot of lives as well, but
Or at least some scary ones. Because that's how it feels.
Very traumatic ones.
Maybe that's my ancestors talking.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Could be a little mixture of both.
Something happened.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do a past life regression.
Me too.
Very, very badly.
Have you ever tried that with tarot?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's actually really hard to read.
Oh, really?
Yeah, every time I read because the thing about tarot is I should have brought my new deck over here. I even thought about it too. I was leaving my house and I was like, I'm forgetting something. I was going to bring it, but I have so many different tarot decks. But the one that I just got recently with a friend over at the Honey Pot in the Arts District.
Okay, I haven't been there.
Oh my God, it's so cool. It's like this big, massive store of just crystals and
like a metaphysical
yeah,
store.
Yeah,
that's
and
cool.
The vibes in there are so interesting. Like, but any metaphysical store, the vibes are really interesting because there's some odd birds that come in at the door, and I can only assume that they only do so much cleansing in those stores because it's just like it's so much in and out, especially with being in the arts district. But anyways, I found a deck in there, and my friend was in Salem. And she said, though one deck that you hone in on right when you see it and you zero in on it, that's the one that you should get.
Okay.
That you're artistically called to. And that happened to me at the store, and there was only 2 of them left, and my friend was so funny. She was like, that is so you. I was like, yeah, dude, I really want to get it. So I bought it, and then we left the store, and then she was like, I really want one too. So we went back, and we got her the same deck. But anyways.
I have one that I got from a store, and it's like a teen witch tarot deck.
Oh, cool.
Which is so not serious.
Yeah.
It's like playful, but I don't know. I loved that one, and now I use that one.
Yeah, that one, I've seen that one in the store, and then I saw a spaghetti one. It was like an Italian food one, and cool. I was like, this is hilarious. Yeah. And we both picked it up. They had it was very strange. Like, it didn't have a book. I don't know. Yeah. I like to have a manual with my tarot decks because the interpretation can be different.
Correct. Every deck is different, right? Or it can be, at least.
So, long story short, to get back to past life regression readings, I had a really hard time with it. I was trying to read it, and I even was looking up qualities that I had in a past life, and I couldn't find very much. So I brought up my pendulum because I was like, is this me in... what year was I in? Because then you can see how many times it swings and you can base it off of an era. And that was helpful. But I think that the dowsing rods are probably going to be my best bet because then you can ask if it's a yes or a no. And then you can say, was I this in this past life? Yes. Was I this? No. I would recommend using, if you're going to do a tarot reading based off of your past life regression, I think that it would be best to use another tool with it, along with it, to get confirmation from a higher source. Does that make sense?
It does.
I think when I was doing it, I found that I've always felt inherently that I was from the 70s. Like, something happened to me in the 70s.
I can see that, yeah.
And I was it was like a traumatic accident.
Oh.
That's what I thought happened. And I came back. Yeah. And I was like, I didn't get to finish living my 20s in the 70s because I've always been called to that era. So I think that was my most recent life.
I just have this feeling that I was a witch that was wrongly imprisoned.
Yeah. And then you came back in this lifetime and you were like, I deserve to feel ease and comfort for my gifts and my tools. That makes sense.
I've always had that feeling.
Yeah.
So who knows what that means. But I would love to get that actually, someone who does that. It would be interesting.
The confirmation. I really want to do that. And then I haven't tried it with this new deck. Maybe I'll try it and then I'll keep you updated on what it says.
Yes.
But
please let me know.
I want to definitely do that, and then a past life regression, and then also a tarot regression. But I don't know. I feel like there are people that specialize in that stuff, and I want to leave it up to the people
Agreed.
who can specialize in
it.
Because
the whole reason I asked in the beginning is because I tried to do it on myself. Just like a 3-card pull.
Yeah.
Past life, tell me about one of my past lives.
Yeah.
It was a very casual situation.
Yeah.
But I would love to go to someone who specializes in that.
Yeah. What did you find?
Well, it aligned with what I just said.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Really?
Yeah, it was very weird. It was interesting.
I did like a multiple card one and I got really overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Then I narrowed it down to 3. I think one of them was I was trying to find out more about my lives. So I think that I passed in the 80s because I kept getting the number 8. Mm-hmm. Like I was drawing based off of the, how there's suits in the deck. So I was asking for a number and I was shuffling for a number and just waiting for a card to fly out. And I think I got the number 8. So I think I passed in the early 80s, but I lived through the 70s, like the tail end of the 70s. I don't know. It was weird. My best friend Sarah and I, we were talking about it, and we were both talking because we both love 70s music, and we were both roommates my freshman year of college. That's where we met, and we were like sitting in my pool, and I was like, I feel like I was from the 70s, and she was like, me too. I've always felt that way. And I was like, do you think that we knew each other? I feel like we were related. And then at the same time we said, did we die in a car accident? And it was really freaky. That is weird. So we think, this is our theory, that we passed in a car accident and we came back here to live the rest of our lives in enjoyment.
Wow, that's sweet.
Yeah, I thought it was sweet.
And an unfortunate ending last time.
Recycling of lives is such a weird topic. Yeah. But anyways, human design is really helpful.
Well, this is totally a different topic.
Yeah.
But can you talk about, I think we should just at least touch on the nervous system.
Yeah.
We've talked about it a little bit, but I would like to know how you incorporate that into your energy healing sessions.
Yeah. So I actually learned about the nervous system through my teacher training for my 200 hour. Mm-hmm. One of the women who is a nervous system resilience coach, she is absolutely phenomenal. She just actually started her business. So shout out to Stephanie Smith. She is the best. I believe her business is called the Resilience Collective, and she teaches people how to heal their nervous systems. So she actually taught us about how the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system work and how most of us are living in fight or flight and how to get into a state of rest and digest so that we can, have that time to rest even when we're like laying in bed and you're just like vibrating, like how to be able to soothe the nervous system and use your external surroundings so that you can be able to get yourself into this state of calm so that your frontal cortex can actually register what you're thinking and saying rather than just saying something and being reactive to it. I found that was super interesting because my whole life, I love my family, but they're a very active family and we have a hard time sitting. I would say on my dad's side, that we have a very hard time with the rest. And then as soon as you get to the rest state, you're absolutely beat to the point where you are past exhaustion and then you almost can't sleep. Yeah. And that's really hard to live in. So anyways, to use as a tool throughout my practices and throughout my sessions, I'll start with my classes. I structure them with a 5-minute tapping into breath and stillness, which can be extremely, extremely uncomfortable for some people. I've had people go on their phones during this time. I've had people that have just stared at me the entire time and just fidgeted. I've had people just sitting up when I tell them to lay down and they just will look at me like this.
Yeah.
Not sitting down.
Yeah.
because they're so alert. So basically, I get them to tap into their breath. Most of the time I do 3-part breath, which is otherwise known as diaphragmatic breath. So you get nice and deep, and then you try to match your inhales with your exhales. And you find sometimes a pause in between, which is otherwise known as samavriti. In the yoga world, it is a 1-to-1 breathing ratio. So I get them to tap into the most basic form of that. But there's all different kinds of breath works. So you can go into your ones that will activate your sympathetic nervous system to get you awake. So like when you're really sleepy. And then
Would you say, are you familiar with Wim Hof?
Wim Hof.
Yeah.
What is that?
He has a whole breathing technique, but I feel like his is like that, like more activating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Kundalini practices. So you have the other activating breaths that you can use, and then you have cooling breaths, and then you have like breaths that will slow you down like completely and get you into the state of parasympathetic. So I have noticed the best result for me is Nadi Shodhana, which is a alternate nostril breathing, where you breathe in through the right side, you hold it, and then you plug this nose and exhale out the other.
I try to do that one, but I have
A deviated
a
septum.
deviated septum.
I don't do them in my class anymore because both my mom and my aunt have deviated septums.
Yes.
So I actually never teach Nadi Shodhana.
It's funny because that's how I learned I had a deviated septum.
Really?
Yeah, because Val, I was going to one of Val's classes and she was having us do that. And I was like, yeah, one of those nostrils isn't working. And then I realized I had a deviated septum.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's definitely a way that you can learn that you have a deviated septum.
I'm so jealous of people who can do alternate nostril breathing.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I don't even bring it up, because I don't want people to feel that way.
No, it's fine.
But
I'm
like,
just kidding.
no. I don't bring it in my classes because I don't want people to go into a yoga class and immediately get hit with something that they're dissatisfied with, because
Could be a discovery session though.
Yeah.
You know, for me,
Yeah.
I learned I had one.
yeah, and I'm sure you weren't upset. You were just like, wow, this is a crazy realization.
Yes, it was that, and then it was also like, I wonder what it would feel like to be able to breathe through both nostrils. Would I be like God? Would I feel so powerful?
You would have a super sniffer.
Yeah.
Like me. I have a crazy nose. It honestly ruins things for me sometimes. My nose. So
Yeah.
maybe it is a blessing.
Yeah.
But like everything in life, there's no good and bad, I guess. It just is.
Maybe one day I'll have surgery and be able to do
Yeah.
alternate nostril breathing.
My mom has been saying that she's going to get her deviated septum fixed for a really long time.
I always want to do it, and then it's like,
It's so much downtime.
yes, it is.
So much downtime. And it's a extremely crazy recovery process, actually.
Yeah.
I've learned.
Well, the thing is, I wish I would have just done it when I broke my nose,
Yeah. That would have been ideal
but I didn't.
when it was all going down.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, I incorporate breath work typically at the beginning of my classes. I actually teach a yin and meditation class on Sundays, and I do 10 minutes of meditation. And sometimes people get really antsy in that 10
That can
minutes.
be a long time for some people.
Yes, I will typically talk for the first 5. So basically, it's me talking you through your body. And I tell you to lie in the most comfortable position that you can think of. And I don't care if your arms are above your head. I don't care if your knees are bent. Most of the time, people who are really uncomfortable with sitting still, their knees are almost always bent and their feet are planted on the floor. And that's actually really a great way to get into the breath as well. So I always actually recommend that. I give options, and then I let people do what they're going to do. Sometimes people will arch their backs up on a block, and I cannot do that comfortably to breathe deeply. So I personally wouldn't recommend it. But
Okay.
what's that TikTok noise where it's like, that's not my favorite, I'll do it for you. What's your favorite position? That's all.
I don't know that one.
Oh my God. I'm pretty sure it's Tenacious D.
Okay.
But it goes, what's your favorite position? That's not my favorite, but it's cool. I'll do it for you. And that's how I feel every time I see people prop their hips up on a block when they're doing 10 minutes of meditation, because that Sounds painful. But anyways, I digress. They will get into their state of where they like to sit. And if that's sitting up against a wall, most of the time meditation, you're supposed to sit with an erect spine anyways. And most of the time I actually tilt when I'm meditating. That's the best way I can meditate. You're actually supposed to sit like this so that you don't get into a state of exhaustion, into the point where you're in full relax mode, which on my Aura ring, I guess shout out Aura. I'm not a really huge fan of some of the stuff that they do, but whatever. It's a little aggressive some mornings when I wake up. Again, with the numbers.
Yes. I had to get rid of mine for that reason.
Yeah, you get so hooked on it.
Too much tracking. Like, I was constantly checking in. I'm like, am I good enough today?
Yeah.
That's what it almost became.
Yeah.
Like, what's my score?
Yeah.
Do I deserve life today?
Did I hit 10,000 steps yesterday?
Did I sleep not too long, not too little?
Did my heart rate also not drop to my state of rest last night? So now I cannot eat my before bed snack? Because that's something that I do, and I'm not allowed to according to my ring.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, in Aura, it would be like I didn't sleep enough.
Yeah.
So then the next day I'm like, okay, I'm going to sleep a lot. But then it's like, actually, wrong. You shouldn't have done that.
You shouldn't have slept more, because now your body didn't even go into a state of deep sleep.
Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah. Seriously.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah. Please tell me, give me a solution. At least once in a while, give me 100 on my sleep score. Just to lie. Yeah. Just lie to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once a week.
And there's also nothing like a hungover Aura score.
Oh.
I remember looking at that. It's like, you didn't sleep, your heart rate sucks, and you suck.
Also,
that's how I felt.
You have major strain on your body.
Yes.
The major strain with...
You get an F today.
Yeah. It literally is an F, because you get a sleep score of maybe 30.
Yeah.
And it's like, you also have a fever. Well, yeah.
Yeah. That was always... The body temperature raised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was always like, you have a fever, and the heart rate thing was the biggest one for me. It's like my resting heart rate when I'm sleeping is supposed to be in, I would say, like 38, 39.
Yeah.
And when I drink, it's in the 50s. And it's like, that's drastic, which is, I mean, it was cool to see initially. And now I'm like, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
I know. I felt it.
Yeah. I can feel it right now.
I can actually feel it really palpitating right now. Yeah. I know that.
Yeah.
And I can feel that I am hot. Mm-hmm. And I need the room to be a lot cooler right now. And I don't smell good either. Are you tracking how I smell too? You also stink.
Yeah. Did you also record what I said last night? You want to replay that for me too? Really? Anxiety's worst nightmare is an Aura ring.
Aura ring. Yeah, seriously. Nothing is like that disgusting cherry on top of the Aura ring. I'm already feeling terrible.
Like, in case you didn't remember, you did something bad.
And here is your reprimandment.
Yeah.
This is your report card for last night. Yeah. You failed. Your GPA is very low now. Your weekly GPA. That's literally what they do. Yeah. They give you a weekly... like digest now, and I'm like, I drank on Wednesday night because I had a really hard Wednesday. Yeah,
it's like you're not taking into consideration what I'm going through.
Okay, how about you saw that my stressors were really high the day before, because it also tracks your stress.
Yes.
And then it tells you at the end of the day, you were extremely stressed. Yes.
Thank you. Yes, I'm aware.
Thank you. I know. I really didn't do well I actually cried today. Like, I hyperventilated. They're like,
today?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's what it's...
It's like, are you okay?
No, yeah, I'm fine. I didn't cry today. Okay. Hopefully I have a really, really wonderful week now on the Aura ring. I can assure you, on my sister's 30th birthday this weekend, it's going to be giving me hell.
Yeah. But you might get a few Fs. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I might actually just retire it for the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I actually ended up doing before I stopped drinking, was I just took off the ring when I would drink, because I was like, I can't handle it.
I can't.
Yeah, I don't want to. I already know.
There was one night that I did go take a shower, and I threw my ring on the floor in the bathroom.
Like, purposefully?
not sober Steffi
Oh, okay.
threw the ring on the floor when
Okay.
I was taking a shower because
Yeah.
I was so mad at the ring.
Okay.
And I fell asleep without it on. And I woke up the next day and it was like kind of mad at me, it
Yeah.
felt like. Like the whole screen was gray when I opened my Aura app, and it was like no sleep tracked last night. What did you do?
Disappointed in you.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like, what did you do? You little suspicious lady. And then I felt even worse because I didn't give it honesty.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. The Aura rings are really, really,
There's something else.
Anyways,
Yeah.
when you get into the state of rest, it turns red. And when you drink, it turns green.
Yes. Yeah.
No, anyways, so I will get people into that state. And ideally, you don't want to be in the full state of where it is red because that's before you fall asleep. You want to still have an awake mind, which is why you should have an erect spine when you're meditating. It shouldn't be green, so it should just be at a state of normalcy. And I will get people to listen to my voice for the first 5 minutes of my class, and then the last 5 minutes, I let them listen to soothing music. And if they fidget, I also let them know by letting their nervous systems know they're allowed to fidget. I always give them the acceptance to do so that they know it. Because humans inherently do not respond well to being told that they cannot do something.
True.
So that activates the sympathetic nervous system immediately because it makes you feel like you are missing out. That is also the same effect that it has when you're having FOMO. When you're being told that you can't do something, it just triggers something in your psychological brain, like when you were a kid, that you couldn't do something, and it makes you feel like you're being left out. Yeah. So I tell people to soothe their nervous system. You're allowed to fidget if you'd like. If you find yourself in a different position, you're allowed to move. And just like that initial allowance, it helps drastically with people's, letting down their guard. As well as I tell people, you are allowed to rest. Like, people need to feel like they can accept that they are allowed to do something, but you're also allowed to move. So giving them the openness to do all, and rather than being told you have to do this, is so much better of a response to the nervous system than you need to sit here and sit still. And I've had instructors in the past where that has happened, but it's easy for me to tap in now as somebody who has practiced numerous times. So that doesn't really bother me or affect me. And I can tap in pretty quick. I can get calm pretty quickly. But there have been times where I've been told to do certain breath work and I have not responded well. And it was recently where my shoulders were here. And I have to literally have somebody tell me, put your shoulders down. So that's another one that I will use is soften your jaw, soften your shoulders, soften the hips, soften the knees, soften the ankles, let them flop, let the body fully be absorbed into the ground. So that's the first thing that you have to do is that initial acceptance. Then moving into the practice, when they are in postures that cause discomfort. So obviously I teach yin yoga, I teach vinyasa, I teach gentle flow. So I do a little combination of all of them. For my yin classes, you're supposed to hold the posture for about 2 to 5 minutes per. And it can be extremely painful. Traditional yin is used with no props. I love using props because they help your nervous system. I love restorative yin so much. I just actually did a whole training weekend on restorative yin for my 300 hour.
Yeah, I love yin yoga.
Yeah.
I also can't imagine yin without props. I've only ever done it with props.
Right. So the difference is you have yin yoga, which is traditionally taught without props, deep hold, deep stretches, deep breaths, no props. Restorative yin is props, like about 80, sometimes even 70% of a depth of hold. So you don't go to your fullest. And then you're maybe able to, after that 2 to 5 minute, you can start to relax even more and get into 100% and notice how much the body relaxes, and it's able to actually get a better stretch by just letting the nervous system drop in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then by utilizing the props, bringing the floor closer to you, something is there. As human beings, we want to feel coddled and rocked. that's what we learned in my teacher training, which is what one of the instructors, Autumn Selman, who teaches at Yoga Sanctuary, says. The body wants to feel held. And that's the most beneficial way that you're going to get the full restoration from restorative practice. So I teach hot, and in hot yoga, you cannot use bolsters and blankets because why would you do that, you know? So
Yeah.
it's really hard. So I almost wish that they would instruct people to bring thick towels so that they could just take it home and wash it after, because they use like a towel to line their mat and then a towel to maybe place over their block or wipe off their sweat. But we offer 2 blocks and we offer straps at 103, which is where I teach my yin and meditation. I always request that people grab 2 blocks, and I bring in more because sometimes people are so tight that they need 5. And I am able to come around and give them the blocks so that I can bring the floor closer to them. And that's one of the first questions I always get asked. Why do we need blocks today? Because I want you to be able to have the accessibility to be able to bring the floor closer to you so that your alignment feels better and that your body can fully benefit from the practice if you need it. So I kind of tap into that. And also, that's another nervous system thing. There's a block nearby just in case you need it. It's like a safety, you know? And then I also use other tools such as sound bowls. So I do sound baths. When I do my sound baths, I typically don't do them in heated rooms if they're for longer amounts of time. I typically like that people are able to bring blankets and feel like they are in a bed almost. So I say bring all of your comfortable things and wear the most comfortable set that you have. And also have a water bottle just in case like your throat is tickly that day. We live in Vegas, it's extremely dry. And then just being able to feel coddled at the end of the day, and then having the sound therapy on top of it. So sound therapy can actually be really abrasive for some people. It just depends on what you like. So some people like just white noise or brown noise. There's other different types of levels of noises, which the sound bowls actually either really, really soothe you, or they're just kind of whatever, or they really make you alert. So it also matters the pitch that you're playing them at. So if you're really raking at the sound bowl, it can be really, really vibrating to the body. So I actually try to play them with a softer hand so that people feel fully relaxed. And then we also have a rain drum where I do I did my first teacher training at Pilates plus yoga, which is where I do the sound baths, like the full moon sound baths. And the rain drum is just, it sounds like waves. Just like very, very simple crashing waves, and that really soothes some people. That's typically what I do to soothe people's nervous systems to get them into a state of where they can feel like they can be in receiving mode, whether that be stretches or energetic healing. So I will do that as well. I'll get people into a deep state of meditation by talking them through it initially, telling them about the sensations that they should be feeling in their breath, and allowing them to be able to move and to have the accessibility of having a prop or having something nearby that they might need to make them feel comfortable.
And so it sounds like, I mean, at least in the classes and probably everything you do, but you use a lot of somatic practices.
Yes.
To regulate the nervous system.
Yes, for sure. I do a lot of that work as well. The somatic tools have been extremely helpful throughout getting people to feel comfortable before going into a state of meditation or going into something that is supposed to be deeply stretching. And all of it is spiritual, and you gotta be really open and willing to do it in the first place. And a lot of the time people are sent to go to these things.
Yeah.
Some people get prescribed to go to a restorative yoga class. So you have some therapists or psychologists that will be like, when's the last time we went and took a breathwork class? Or, and of course, depends on the luck of the draw of who you get as your psychiatrist or your therapist that can recommend these tools. But I've had an older gentleman who was recommended by his doctor to come in and take yoga, and he comes to my class every week, and he is so sweet. I used to take yoga alongside him because during my teacher training we used to have to take classes. I've noticed such a drastic difference in his breath, because a lot of people hold on to their breath when they are doing yoga, And to be able to find that nice breath to movement and to get in the zone of it, it almost feels like there is no such thing as time. And ideally, I want people to feel that sense of relief and that sense of meditation.
It's probably really great to watch transformations of people in your classes or even people that you work with. Do you have a really good story or an example of that?
Yeah, I have helped a few people in my life, whether that be friends or and for free,
Yeah.
or even people that actually do seek out what I do, because I've kept it very under the table and hush hush that I do Reiki
Okay.
and energy work, but I'm starting to become, it's a me thing, you
Yeah.
know. But I do want to continuously start taking clients and make it steady and eventually make it what I do. I have this younger girl. She is, I think she's 21 right now. 20. I
Yeah.
think she
You
just
don't have
turned
to share
22.
any
Uh,
names or anything, but
yeah,
yeah.
to keep her identity,
Yeah.
you know. But she basically came to me when I was working the front desk at the yoga studio that I teach at. And I was like, I think I'm going to start doing energy work. I just got certified in Reiki 2 and I need somebody to work on. And she was like, I'm happy to do it. So now every once in a while we schedule a session and she's like, I just love being around this. I just need this in order for me to feel good. And I personally had an experience with my own spiritual journey where I've gone to energetic practitioners. I go to Brooke Welsh, who's a psychic medium in Las Vegas, and she's drastically helped me throughout my journey. And I've always said that I've wanted to help people in the way that she's helped me. We briefly touched on human design too with our energetic sessions, and I've noticed that it's whatever's going on in my life that I'm able to help people with based off of what I learned. But, anyways, I would say this young girl, she came to me, I did her energetic work, and I used to go out of her house, and she would bring a gentleman with her occasionally who was a family friend, and I've worked on him twice. And the first time I ever worked on him, I did his human design, and he was like, this is really insane. I've never seen this before. And being able to show him that he has access to these tools it was really, really cool. And then I showed her the tools as well, and she was like, man, this is like really life changing. So as I've started to see her apply things that are for her best alignment based off of one, her human design, and two, things that she's told me that she's wanted and how to make them manifest into her reality, we got her all set up, and based off of all of the advice that I have given her and the tools that I have, the books that I have given her and recommended to her, she's now doing something crazy, moving out of the country to move to her goal place, which she never thought was even going to be a reality at some point. And do I take credit for any of that? No, absolutely not. She did all of that on her own. But I was still able to be alongside her and help her understand the tools that she can benefit from. And she actually applied them. So seeing her actually read the books, actually apply the prayers and the manifestations, the actual embodiment of what she wanted to become, and now that she is that and transitioning into that, it's been cool to see. And not only that, she uses it for maintenance. So, like, maintaining being able to be in this new state of being rather than going to the backslide, going to the things that you are comfortable doing based off of what you have always been taught to do. So she was struggling with moving back home and reverting back to who she used to be. I was like, that's not who you have to identify yourself as anymore. And sometimes people just need that nervous system reassurance that that's not who they have to be anymore. And using the tools that they have built, even though their surroundings haven't changed when they go back to places, or maybe people that she has hung out with have not changed, that doesn't mean that she doesn't have to stay true to who she wants to be and she is moving forward. And sometimes people just need that reassurance so that they can continue, just like what you do.
Yeah, it can be really powerful to watch someone be able to shift into the new version of their life that they really actually want and not fall back into old patterns. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
really nothing better than that.
There's really nothing better, and
Yeah.
it's so rewarding. And I would say that she's like my only client that I've seen progressively really apply that stuff to, because you have family members that ask you for life advice.
Yeah, that's a different
It's
story.
totally different topic, and it's really hard because sometimes you just need a stranger to tell, like,
Well, there's a lot of bias.
yeah.
I always say that when you're working with someone that you're very close with, whether that's family or even a really close friend, there can be bias. And I think sometimes you just need someone to validate you that's not so close to it. Or you can even have someone who means well. Like even me, if with my family members, I mean well, but they don't need to hear it from me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, sometimes, like most of the time, I've learned that family members do best when we lean on each other for emotional support, so they just need a place to vent.
Yes. They want you to listen.
Yeah, they want you to sit and listen, and
Not
they don't
coach them.
they don't want the problems to be fixed, because they're not coming
Yeah.
to you for the problem
Yeah.
to be fixed. They are coming to you to hear that makes sense that you feel that way.
Yes.
Which is, by the way, my friend Smithy, who I go to when I need nervous system relief now. I will say how I'm feeling, and she always starts off with, "It makes sense that you feel that way." And it makes everything go away.
Yeah.
It almost melts off of your body, the
Yeah.
stress and the tension that you're holding, and you're just spiraling in mentally.
Yeah.
Just hearing that from someone else, a friend that you are actually confiding in. And one of the things that I have learned with my discernment of coaching, and I guess I kind of am a little bit of a life-ish coach to some of my friends and to some of my family members when they are asking me. I will, most of the time now, learning, do you want advice or do you want somebody to talk to?
Yeah.
And do you want
That's a
to
great
vent?
question to ask.
And that's what I actually ask myself first. Is this appropriate to ask right now?
Yeah.
Because sometimes it can be taken offensively, but I will typically ask myself, is this person seeking advice? Or is this person seeking a place of comfort and needing to regulate their nervous system?
Yeah. I like to ask, even if it's just a regular flowing conversation, because it doesn't have to be so like, would you like me to coach you now? But
Yeah.
I like to ask, do you want my advice on this?
Yeah. And that's really
Because
important.
a lot of times they don't.
No, they don't.
And if they do, they'll
especially-
tell you,
Yeah.
you know?
Or they'll say,
So-
"What would you do in this
Yes.
situation?"
Yeah.
And that's my that's my cue to really go. And I get really excited when people ask me for advice.
Yeah.
Because you trust me as an individual that has experience in this or well-rounded, that you want my opinion on. So I appreciate you. So I take it really seriously when people ask me for advice. And I've learned that within the last year, I've actually really applied this, is that sometimes people just don't want to fix, and now I'm not using my discernment and I'm overgiving.
Yeah.
It actually taps into overgiving when you are giving advice that is unsolicited.
Correct.
Learning how to start to use discernment when you are giving advice is extremely important and
Absolutely.
beneficial.
Well, it's going to exhaust you and perhaps make you frustrated.
If you will, human design wise.
Because if they're not even wanting it, then it's not the proper flow of energy and exchange.
Correct.
And you're giving something that's not even being valued. So,
Yeah. And then that results in frustration for me.
absolutely.
Because I've had numerous friends that I have lost or taken a break from, and it's always almost been my fault for over extending my advice.
Yeah.
And I would say a fault, because it was something that I needed to fix.
Would you like my advice on this?
Yeah. Would love it.
Well, I was just, while we're talking about this, it's reminding me that when I have that going on, or I feel myself wanting to insert myself, because I do that too, I will instead ask them what they think of the situation.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, just
I like
additional
that.
insights. Like, what would you do? What do you think would be the best thing to do?
Yeah.
Instead of like, here's what I think you should do, because I know it will work.
Yeah.
As I have done that before with family and friends.
I've also done that
Yeah.
with family and friends. And
they love it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It almost works every time. They listen 100% of the time.
Yeah.
I definitely recommend.
Yeah, they do exactly what I say.
Every time, and it's so satisfying. No, it's actually so frustrating because you give them exactly what you did and you know it works. And you know what? I am a victim of this too, being a martyr. I have to learn. Going back to human design, that is something. And you know what? I'm not a human design chart reader. I just like to use it as simply as a small tool. I like to use the very, very brief description of it so that I can give people benefit from it. Because it personally helped me understand what you're feeling right now is out of alignment, is frustration. And that's not what you should continue to feel. But what I have continued to notice with family when I do give the advice, it's almost always taken offensively.
Yeah, that can happen. Well, it's like, oh, you think I need to be fixed?
Yeah, like you think I'm broken. And I have almost always come to the conclusion of I being somebody who needs to learn on their own a lot. I hate when people give me their advice.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we don't like it either.
No, us as beings don't like it.
Yeah.
Either.
It's a very human thing to do, is to want to help someone, and you think you know what's best for them.
Yeah.
Really, a coaching philosophy that I was trained in is that the only person who knows what's best for them is themselves.
Yes.
Like, even if you think you know what's best for them, it does not. No.
Yeah.
You don't.
And sometimes
everybody's different.
That's exactly where I was going with that. It's literally the fact that we all have to learn ourselves.
Yes.
Even if you are a martyr or not and you're human design, a lot of the time people have to learn from experience.
Yeah. Well, it's bio-individuality.
Yeah.
And every single person is their own being, their own experiences, their own likes and dislikes. And even though something might have worked really well for you, it does not necessarily mean that same exact thing will work that way for somebody else.
Yeah, because it could be way too big of a jump.
Or anything. It just might not align with them.
Yeah.
There might be a certain type of breath work that works for one person and not another.
Yeah.
Like, it's just everybody is different.
Yeah. Another example of you can't do Nadi Shodhana, and I can't even give.
Yeah.
I can't even give
biologically, I can't do it.
Biologically, she cannot do it. Not that she doesn't want to do it.
The desire.
She has the desire, and maybe one day it will happen. One day it'll maybe just unblock.
Maybe I keep trying.
And maybe if you keep praying.
I'll yeah, I'll fix my nose.
Yeah, by prayer. The deviated septum gods.
Yeah.
Will grant you a genie wish.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I'll try that out.
I think I don't even have an alternative for that. So it's like sometimes there's not an alternative for certain things. So what I'm saying, as far as it being not aligned with them, or maybe potentially it's too big of a jump to progressively get to there, it's whether or not you have to come to the realization within yourself. That's the main thing, is that you have to come to the realization within yourself of this really isn't working for me anymore. I don't have to do this anymore. I actually find that I respond better when people do that to me.
Me
because
too.
They'll give me an example and it lets my guard down to know that they are human and not in a teacher mode. I'm telling you what to do, but more so of, I've been there before and here's my story. This is what worked for me and that might not work for you, and that's okay.
Well, thank you for sharing everything today.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot about what you do and how you incorporate all of your tools. So.
Yeah. Thank you.
I do like to always end with what's making you cozy.
Ooh, okay.
So tell us what's making you cozy this week.
Oh, man. What is making me cozy this week? God, my bed.
Yeah, that's a good option. It's a good go-to.
I would say specifically, I am a Ninja Creamy. And that plus bedtime plus journal time.
Yes.
Equals very cozy for Steffi. And I would say arguably one of my favorite things of all time. So
the combination?
All three of those.
Okay.
I would say that's my favorite thing of all time.
The creamy, the journal, Going to bed.
And sitting in my bed, doing all three of those.
Okay.
So sitting in my bed, and then I throw on like a TV show in the background, whether that be like, I don't know. I've been really indulging in childhood shows recently. So I've been playing Gravity Falls in the background, which I don't know if you were like
I don't know what
Disney
it is.
Channel. And yeah,
I was Disney Channel, but
it was like
I was Hannah Montana.
It was probably about 5 years after Hannah Montana. But anyways, it's like a kind of spiritual-esque show.
Okay.
It was a cartoon, and it's a little annoying, but they have like funny jokes and tidbits, but it's supposed to be like about the spiritual realm and different universes, and it's like they travel in all different dimensions with different monsters and things. And it's very like Steffi core. That's what I loved growing up. So I'll play it in the background when I'm journaling. And I have my Ninja Creamy for the night. And I'm in my bed with my blue light glasses on.
Yeah.
There's most of the times when you catch me at my happiest moments, if the Aura Ring did catch you at happiest moments, which would be a really great future, maybe.
Yeah.
To make you happier.
I know. There should be a little more motivation in there or something. I mean, I guess there is, but.
Some positives.
Yeah.
Like a great job. Like, I know that you had a really hard day today, but you were resilient.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that would be great.
You were really stressed today, and your body does pretty good when you're stressed out.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Anyways, that is what's making me cozy.
Wonderful.
I would say. And maybe a cup of tea every now and then.
Of course.
During the winter, I would say a cup of tea and a cookie and journaling in bed.
Perfect.
But for now, for the summer, during the hot months, the Ninja Creamy is really doing it for me.
I like that. I need a creamy.
Yeah.
I don't have one. So I might invest in that. But
I would.
What's making me cozy this week, I actually didn't prepare this. So I will say that my husband Phil made pot roast last night. So that's a good cozy situation.
Yeah.
My whole house smells like meat.
I love
At
it.
least that's what Steffi said.
Well, I walked in and I was like, oh man, it just smells like a home cooked meal.
Yes, you actually said it smells really good.
Yeah.
not that
it smells like meat in here.
Yeah. It does. It smells very good. I think that's all I have. Pot roast.
Pot roast
Yeah.
for the win. I would say up a good pot roast with some mashed potatoes under.
We had mashed potatoes.
Oh man.
Yep. We had mashed potatoes, pot roast, green beans, salad.
Yum.
Ideal dinner.
Yeah. What about meatloaf?
It's only 105 degrees out eating pot roast.
I know. I actually cannot wait for it to not be hot.
I do love meatloaf, but I have not had it in a very long time.
I would say like my grandma's meatloaf, Mimi, she makes a really good one.
I think I've had it.
With the potatoes and the peas.
Yes.
And it's literally tomato sauce on top.
Yes.
It's super simple, but it does it for me every time.
Yeah.
She does such a phenomenal job at that. And I know it's literally just a hunk of meat. It's so good. That is so good. So that's like your top meal, like death row?
Oof. Death row meal is just fries.
Just fries.
Just
Steak,
fries.
What kind of style?
Del Taco fries.
With the nacho cheese?
Just the fries.
Wait, Taco Bell's the nacho cheese.
I don't know why those are my favorite fries, but they are. They're just so good. I don't know.
I've had them. I had them recently at the original Del Taco on the way to Barstow or through Barstow. Have you been to that?
No, I have not been to it. I mean, how many times have I passed by it?
Yeah, that's the number one Del Taco of all
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
And their fries were mean.
Okay,
like
next
so
time. I'm
good.
gonna have to do that next time I go.
Yeah. I don't know what my death
The
row
fries
meal.
are my favorite food.
Yeah.
I'm sure I could think of some other things, but
Fries.
it's top of the list. If I'm about to die, I need fries.
I would say that's a really good response because steak fries are really good.
I love all fries. I'm really not discriminatory when it comes
Towards
to
the
fries.
shoes. Yeah.
Yeah, shoestring, good. Curly, good. Seasoned, good. Steak fries, good.
Steak fries.
Sweet potato fries, good.
Yeah. I actually really love sweet potatoes recently. I've been really on a big kick of those and butternut squash. Death row meal. God, I would say a really nice juicy steak
Yeah.
with perfect mashed potatoes underneath. They need to be just the right consistency.
I think I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, me too. I'm thinking about it. Like a nice, like perfectly fatty steak, not too fatty.
I'm a filet girl.
You're a filet girl?
I am.
I used to be a filet girl through and through. But recently I've been really indulging in a good ribeye.
I did have a tomahawk recently.
Dude.
And it was like, okay, actually, this is much better than filet.
All of it is delicious, in my opinion. I'm happy with any red meat, and I like it cooked rare.
You do? No, you don't.
Yep. I like it cooked rare.
No.
I like to have a little bit of chew to my steak.
I mean, I like a medium rare, but rare is just too much for me.
I want it to be medium rare, but lean way more towards rare.
All right.
With mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Death row.
Near Neanderthal.
Yeah. I'm really gnawing on it. Sometimes I want the bones.
Stop. I don't know how we're ending this podcast about red meat.
Red meat.
Yeah.
Food. Yeah. Well, you were talking about the chuck roast.
Yes.
And it really got me going on the red meat. And a nice glass of light Pinot Noir.
And for me, a mocktail.
And for Chelsea, a Fonina Grande. On that note, my stomach is literally growling and it's vibrating the couch.
Yeah, so is mine. Okay. Well, thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on Steffi Sorrentino Yoga on Instagram. And you can also find me on TikTok. I think it's just Steffi Sorrentino on TikTok. And if you want to reach out to me individually, you can DM me on Instagram. And I'm happy to come and help you with an either online session, a call session, or I can come to you and do an in-person session with energy work or alignment coaching. You can always reach out to me on either of those. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. I'll link Steffi's socials and my socials. And as always, if you can just rate and review the podcast, that helps us out. But that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steffi.
Love you.
Love you.
Okay, bye.